So my concerns have always primarily been theological. So while I agree the dissident right does not pose a political danger, though, I do think it poses a theological danger. And that's what I'm concerned about. I know people that have gone down this path and have landed in a very dangerous place theologically. They've embraced radically bad beliefs and bad theology because they're putting more and more of their trust in this political movement and not in their theological development, not in their growth in character, not in their sanctification. Just one example I'd talk about this is that in the Bible, one of the insistent principles is that unity in Christ should trump every other kind of identity. It crosses boundaries of race, class, and gender. Just here's some quotes from the Bible. Paul writes here, in Christ, in the church, there's not Greek or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave or free, but Christ is all and in all. This is a theme repeated throughout the New Testament that when you're a Christian, that unity, that love that you have for other Christians transcends biology, ethnicity, ancestry, class. That was what shocked the ancient Romans. They'd see people, Christians, mingling across these lines. Like, how can you hang out with slaves? How can you do that? And the answer is because we have a deeper bond in Christ than I even have with my biological family. What I see in this movement is this heightened awareness of my ethnicity and the importance of my people. And my people doesn't mean Christians. It means my ethnic group. And that's exactly the problem I had with the woke left. Exactly what I pointed out. You can't walk into a church and see people as oppressor Christian, oppressed Christian, oppressed Christian. We have to walk into church and say, my family is here. So I would just, going back to your question, I don't think the dissident right currently is a political threat. I do think it's a spiritual threat. And I especially think it's a threat to young white males who are tired of being called oppressors and are then being sucked into this black hole. And I do want to speak out against it and show them. And I think that the first step then for the church is to speak clearly against critical theory. When someone is being judged and abused and written off because of their skin color, that is wrong, whether they're white or black or purple. If you're not an oppressor because you happen to have XY chromosomes, that is not just, it is wrong, and I oppose it, whether it's implemented by the left or the right. But then from that basis, we then say, what's the right way to think about these issues? And showing that God's reality, God's truth in the Bible is good and beautiful.